Hi, I'm Sarah. This is a split tutorial. It's been designed in 3 stages, so this is stage 2. So maybe you've already practiced stage 1 maybe once, maybe multiple times, and maybe you feel comfortable with that and you feel ready for the second stage. Ida will be demonstrating and we'll start in a forward fold. So the same as we finished from stage 1, we'll just get straight back in. So coming into a forward fold at the front of your mat, Ida. Take hold of opposite forearm, allow yourself to feel nice and heavy. Again, just bring yourself back to that breath, allow yourself to feel nice and relaxed through the back of the throat, soften through the jaw. And then release your arms, heel toe the feet together, bend the knees deeply, raise your arms, chair pose. Kick down into your heels and feel that there's an extension through the backs of the Achilles heels. And that the more that you press down into your heel, the more that you can activate your hamstring, even as they're bent here. Anchor the tailbone and then feel that your pubic bone is lifting up. And then try not to exaggerate the shoulders rolling back. You don't have to pin the shoulders back. You can just allow the shoulder heads to roll away from one another and slightly roll forwards. Bring the thumbs to your heart center. And then bring your left elbow outside of your right thigh. And then hook the elbow onto the thigh and then use this as resistance. Press the thumbs firmly towards the middle of your chest between your collarbones and then use the energetic kind of lock of your palms pressing together to find this additional resistance. Lengthen through the side of the waist and then lean back with your right shoulder almost as though you are back bending. So the sit bones press back, the heels press down, and then you roll your left lung underneath your right lung. The navel is still long. The crown of the head reaches forwards. And then stay exactly as you are here. Just lift your left elbow a centimeter off your thigh. So now we're just using the strength of your obliques. And see if you can turn almost from your internal body. So the organs are almost rotating around the axis of your spine, and then the physical exterior body rolls with it. So we want to really find that deep twist from like really deep inside. Take the left elbow back to the thigh, look at your right big toe to stabilize, and then step back with your left foot to a lunge variation. Continue to roll through the chest, wrap the left lung under the right, and then over time when you feel more flexible, or maybe the hands easily come to the middle of your collarbones, and then just continue to pull them to the armpit. Soften through the back of your throat, kick the back heel firmly back, and then find a buoyancy under your left thigh. So almost as if this left thigh was energetically lifting up, but then there's a density in your right hip so the pelvis remains square. So it's really tempting to just drop down into this left thigh and to bend the left knee, but keep the leg active. Press into your right foot, raise both arms, high lunge. Soften through your mouth, micro bend your left knee, and then energetically squeeze your left knee, your left toes, and your left hip forwards to the front heel. And then pull your right heel back and then again find this traction. So I talk about traction a lot, but it's to really help activate your hamstrings so we don't just create flexibility without the strength, that we want them to move in unity so that when we move into our splits, it's not just flopping into the joints, that we move with like a really strong body so we don't become vulnerable or injured. Soften through your mouth, drop the left hand down, raise your right arm, easy twist. And again, see how easy it is to just drop your left hip here, lift the left hip, kick the heel back, drop your right hip, and then lengthen the vertebrae of your spine. Press down into your left hand, the same as in plank, lift up out of your left armpit crease and then feel as though you're holding something in your armpit. Lengthen the nape of the neck, lift up through the palm as if someone was holding you by your right wrist and then lifting you up. Then feel how everything kind of draws down from this one point in space. Take your right hand to your lower back. Look forwards. Hover your left arm forwards, hover your left leg off the mat. Begin to hover your right leg back and then bend deeply into your right knee and then begin to open wide into a floating half moon. The more you bend that right knee, kind of the more challenging it will be, but the more the strength you'll build around your kneecap. The quad should, it should feel hard. Take another big breath, soften through your mouth. Keep your right knee bent deeply, slow motion, step the left foot next to the right, arms up, chair pose. Take a big inhale, fill the body with oxygen, so feel like this exaggerated way of breathing all the way from root to mid to top. Then as you exhale, hollow out the belly, fold forwards, Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. Inhale, look forwards, extend. And then exhale, refold. Bend the knees, sit nice and low in your hips, raise both arms, chair pose. And again, see that the shoulders slightly roll in naturally, lengthen through the spine, and then particularly this middle bit of the spine. So your lower back is really designed for movement, so it's really naturally a lot more flexible usually than the rest. So the vertebrae is kind of more like butterfly wings, and they can move more fluidly. So try not to get into this, follow this temptation of just moving to this flexible part of your back. Lengthen and extend through here. Use the posterior chain muscles that look like Christmas tree muscles, and then instead lengthen and try to extend through the mid-back. Thumbs to the sternum, right elbow outside of left thigh. Use this resistance, twist, press down into the feet, and then again, feel that this left shoulder stacks on top of the right. So she's almost leaning back into the back shoulder. Soften through the toes, soften through the back of the ankles, lengthen through the crown of the head. And again, find the middle by extending from back to front. And then feel that as you rotate, you're compressing through your organ body, and then think about when you release all this fresh blood and oxygen flushing through the internal body, and this is how we detoxify the body, aid our circulation, and then create space within the ribs. Hover the right elbow off the left thigh, just hover just a tiny millimeter. So not too far, you're just using your internal body to rotate even further, like you're wrapping your right lung under the left. Reattach the elbow, press down into your left foot, look at the left big toe, so finding a focus will help you balance, and then step back with your right foot. Kick the heel back, find that buoyancy, continue to spiral from the axis of your spine. So you want to continue to press your sit bone back, find that buoyancy in your right thigh, drop down into your left hip. And then think about when we roll the flesh out, the right flesh rolls forwards and the left flesh rolls out away from the midline. Press into the left foot, raise up, high lunge. Micro bend your back knee, kick your back knee forwards, kick the toes forwards, and then feel this right hip flexor like it's pulling up and lengthening up to your belly button. So you extend so the column of your spine is directly above the pelvic ball. Re-extend the back leg. Drop your right hand down, lift your left arm. Easy twist. Good, again, feel that buoyancy. Feel the suction as you pull up through the right thigh. Soften through the mouth, feel as though someone's holding you by your wrist, and then feel this extension so that all of the muscles of your arm and your armpits are engaged. Take your left arm to your lower back. Soften through your mouth, extend your right arm forwards, begin to float up. Float the back leg, and then rotate the chest further to the left side, bend away from the back leg. Bend into your left knee deeper, soften through your mouth, extend through the nape of the neck. Slow motion, bend your right knee, chair pose. Raise both of the arms. Feel the extension of your lower back, lengthen, stack the ribs. Exhale, fold forwards. Good, inhale, breathe into the back body, extend all the way crown of the head to the sit bones. And then release, step or hop back, either a plank, bypass your vinyasa, or drop the knees. Good. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Press down into the hands and the feet. And then again, broaden through the backs of your fingernails. Feel that the backs of your fingernails and the backs of your knuckles really glue down into your mat. But there's this softness, this kind of pouch of oxygen just under the pads of your hands. So there's kind of a softness. And then you grow your fingers long away from the span of the hands. It's like the palms are extending and growing away. The heels are drawing back and down in space. The toes are soft. The shin bones literally lift up out of the ankle joint. The kneecaps lift up. And then there's this real slight rotation of your inner thighs like they were rolling out. Then again, see here Ida has this really flat back, but maybe if you're less flexible in your hamstrings, you'll only achieve this by bending your knees really deeply, and that's fine too. So we always want to maintain the integrity of the spine, and this middle part of the body is really what we're interested in, and that everything else, the extremities, they just kind of are additional to the trunk, that this is really important to keep this nice long back. Inhale, raise your right leg, three-legged dog. Draw your knee towards your nose. Step your foot between your hands, look forwards. Kick the left heel back. Press into your right foot, raise up, high lunge. Soften through the back body. Good, press firmly into that right foot. Drop the sole of your left foot, open wide, warrior two. Sit really deep into the seat of your front thigh. And then feel that you anchor down into the outer edge of your left foot. So you physically press away. Soften your toes and then spread them away from the heel. Lift the shin bone up out of the ankle. Rotate the flesh of your left thigh all the way from your inner leg, your adductor, outwards. And then from here, tuck the tailbone, pull your pubic bone up, and then lengthen the vertebrae of your spine directly up above the pelvis. Soften through your mouth, continue to bend the front knee. And then straighten your front leg. Take your right arm all the way forwards down into the shin, stack the shoulders, triangle pose. Look up to the top palm, keep pulling your right hip back, and then be mindful to press into your inner edge, your big toe side of the foot as much as your outer edge. So there's a tendency sometimes we bring the weight to the outer edge, the little toe side of the foot. And then in time we'll overextend the outer hamstring and there will not be an equality to the stretch so that the inner leg will be tighter than the outer leg. Soften your right shoulder, look up to the left arm, and then reach your left arm to the front of the room away from your back heel. So you find this traction. And again, the more that you anchor down through this back foot and extend the fingers, the more that you can find traction and the deeper the stretch within the intercostal muscles. So these muscles that run within our ribs. We really want to be able to alleviate these away from the pelvis so that we can stretch deeper into the hip flexors. Soften the mouth and then start drawing these big circles. Move as though you're moving through honey. The air is almost heavy. So you're not just kind of swinging through the arm joint, you're rolling with the synovial fluid. You're finding this restriction and this resistance, and then you're moving safely through the shoulder head. And at any point, if this feels really uncomfortable on your leg, if your hamstrings aren't used to being extended for this long, then you just bend your knee and come back in whenever you feel ready. If it feels like too much pressure with your hand on your shin, you can take your hand to a brick or just hover the hand. When you're ready, change the direction of your arm, move the other way. Good, and then just feel that relationship with the side of your waist and your hip. The more that you circle the arm, the more that you extend and create resistance, maybe the deeper the stretch you can feel. Take one more big breath. And then when you're ready, just take your left arm all the way down your left thigh, right arm over right ear, reverse triangle. And then open the arms wide, turn your right toes forwards, open the arms, extend. Take your right arm on top of your left, eagle bind. And then bind your arms, press the fingertips up and away, and then really actively, without arching into your back, press your forearms away. And then breathe into the back of your shoulder blades and press firmly away, as if you're pressing an invisible hand away with your shoulder blades. Open the arms wide. Exhale, fold yourself forwards. Good. Bring your chin slightly to the chest. So you don't want to bring the chin all the way to the chest, but you don't want to just drop into the neck either. So visualize almost like you're holding like a golf ball in between your chin and your chest. This energetic squeeze that doesn't allow the chin to be more than perpendicular. Take your right hand under your nose, straighten the arm, take your left arm to your lower waist, keep the hips square, do not move from the left hip. And then if only you feel comfortable here and you feel that you can maintain the squareness of your pelvis, then maybe you begin to rotate the left arm on top of the right and lift the hand. Keep pressing your sit bones away from you, lengthen the skin of your lower back. Lengthen the skin of your belly forwards, and then again find this traction. Reach forwards with the crown of the head, reach back with the sit bones. Drop the left hand, right hand to lower back. Gently rotate through the spine, decide whether this is enough, otherwise maybe lift the arm. Soften through the mouth, and then find that twist again from your mid-back, so the thoracic spine, that section of the spine that's a little less flexible than the lower and upper back. Good, drop your right hand, and then walk your hands towards your right foot, turn your right foot forwards, come to the ball of your left foot so you land in a runner's lunge with the right knee on top of right ankle, the hands either side of your foot. So if you feel particularly tight in your hamstrings here, you can either use bricks or bucks under your hands for a little bit of extra space, or you just don't straighten the leg all the way. As you inhale, press your chest forwards. Then as you exhale, lift your hips, straighten the front leg. Intense forward fold, good. Again, inhale, extend, bend your front knee, reach the chest forwards, breathe into the sides of the waist, extend all the way through mid-back. And then exhale, lift up, find some buoyancy, roll the flesh of the left thigh forwards, the flesh of your right hip back. Again, inhale, bend the front knee. And then exhale, lift and hold. Stay here. Again, if it doesn't feel comfortable, just bend your right knee as much as you need to, otherwise your hands are on bricks. If you feel really comfortable, you might even walk your hands away to deepen the stretch. That's gonna help you press your hips back and then find even more extension through the mid of the belly. Bend your right knee. Drop your left knee, heel toe your right foot to the right side of your mat, the toes out 10 degrees. So if they were on a clock, it would be like they were facing 2 o'clock. Either stay here on your hands or come down to your forearms. And then squeeze your forearms down. If your forearms feel like they are restricting you and stopping you from moving forwards, just move them a little bit further forwards. If you are in between stages, you know, it feels easy on the hands, but it feels really difficult on the forearms. Again, just stack a brick or a book under the edge of the elbow and it will take you in between stages. Press down into your toenails and then feel, even though the knee is down, like this activation of the shin bone and the thigh. Continue to lengthen through the middle of your back. Pull the pelvis forward, soften through the mouth. Press into your hands. And then step your left foot outside of your left hand, squat pose. Sit nice and low into your hips. And then use your elbows to press your thighs out. Contract through your groins, so pull up through your pelvic floor. So your Mula Bandha, this we talk about a lot in yoga, it's this sense like you really need to go for a wee, but you can't, so you need to pull up. That will help contract the back of the abdomen and keep the back of your spine safe. Use your knees to actively press your adductors, so your inner thighs out. And then press into the outer edge, the little toe side of your foot as much as the big toe. Lengthen the nape of the neck. Feel your pelvis, and then feel that you're lengthening the column of your spine directly above it so that you are really on the apex of the pelvis. Good. From here, lift your hips in line with your knees. Squeeze your elbows firmly into your thighs. Press the palms together and then squeeze the elbows so deeply into the thighs it's like you're pressing your knees away. But then simultaneously resist your legs and press the elbows in like you're trying to squeeze your arms together. So you're simultaneously squeezing out and in. It should become fairly challenging to hold for that long. So you want to press down into your feet, and one of these things no one else can really tell if you're doing it, only you really know. Good. Soften through the mouth. Keep squeezing. Try to find this activation all the way from the groins into your inner adductors. Take one more big breath. And then exhale, fold forwards, palms to mat, straighten the legs. Good. Inhale, look forwards, extend. Exhale, just step or hop back to plank or move through a vinyasa so you can bend your elbows. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your left leg. Draw the knee towards your nose, soften through your mouth, and then bypass your wrist. So just trying to bring your shoulders as far forward as you can, finding this flexion in your wrist. This is going to help you long term if you know, trying to eliminate wrist pain or working towards inversions or handstands. It's really good to just get the practice in right from the get-go. Step the foot between the palms, look forwards, press into the left foot, raise both of your arms, high lunge. And again, every time you come into high lunge, think that this is an opportunity to stretch your right hip flexor. So you micro bend your front knee, you squeeze your hip forwards. So we don't feel it in the lower back, we actually feel it in the front of this quadricep. Open wide, warrior two, drop your right foot. So the heel is slightly out and the toes are slightly in at an angle. Press down, find the foundation of your foot, so ground down through the foot, then lift the shin bone, roll the flesh of the thigh out. Soften through your mouth, take a deep seat in the front thigh, knee on top of ankle, and then that knee is pulling out towards the fourth and fifth toes. Pull up through your pelvic floor, keep the back nice and long. Soften through your mouth and then bring your chin directly forwards, find your drishti, your focus. Straighten the left leg. Take your left hand down to the left shin, triangle pose. Take your right arm up. Soften this left shoulder and then press into the big toe side of your foot as much as the little toe. And then squeeze your heels as if you're really squeezing them in towards one another on this really slippy surface. So as if you are, on a wet surface, they would like slide straight to meet in the middle. It's going to help you activate your hamstrings, your glutes, your inner adductors. Good. Look up at the top palm. And again, feel as though someone's holding you by the wrist, and as they lift you up, the elbow and the shoulder can become fairly soft. Take the right arm over the right ear. Traction through the back heel, anchor down, lengthen through the side of the waist, soften through your mouth. And then start drawing these big circles. Move like you're moving through honey. Find this resistance. So you're moving as if you are moving through something heavy in the air, so you kind of don't just roll through the shoulder joint, which is not that beneficial for you. You want to move through this resistance and kind of meet any catching on the way, and then kind of just take that in, like, where's that resistance? How can I move deeper? And then when you're ready, you can change the direction and move the other way. Keep grounding through the feet. Try not to forget about the legs. And again, remember, if your left knee feels really uncomfortable, just bend and come back into it. So if you're not used to kind of putting that much pressure onto the left hamstring, you just bend and straighten. Take one more big breath and then reach back, reverse triangle. Right arm down, right thigh, left arm over left ear. Stretch through the side waist, soften through the shoulders, find a drishti of focus, maybe the middle finger. And then open your arms wide into a T. Turn your left toes forwards to meet your right. This time bring your left arm on top of your right eagle bind. Mindful not to arch into your back, it's really tempting when you move the shoulders. Press your forearms away, breathe into the back of the shoulders, anchor your tailbone, pull up through your your navel cavity, and then extend the forearms away. Open the arms wide. Exhale, fold forwards. Good. Just take a moment to allow the body just to melt down. Press down into the feet. Feel that you press into the outer edges as much as the inner edges. The same as warrior two. Feel that the shins and the knees lift up at the ankle joint. And then do not move your hips. Keep the hips square. Walk your hands over to the right foot. Take your right hand to the back of the calf and your left hand to the shin. And then feel how the left hip wants to roll forwards. Roll it up and back. Stretch yourself over the front leg. Look towards your right shin, ankle or big toe. Crown of the head reaches down, neck is long. Soften through the mouth. And then feel, you can kind of be intuitive and be like, if I move here, does the stretch feel deeper or more beneficial? And always only moving into that space that feels like it's stretching you, like it's challenging you, but never too far. It should be manageable. Come through the center. This time take your left hand to the back of the calf, right hand to the shin, fold. Again, roll the flesh of your right thigh back, extend through the side of the waist, lengthen through the vertebrae of the mid-back, and then allow the neck to feel long. And then release the hands either side of the left foot. Turn your left foot forwards, come to the ball of your right foot, come to a runner's lunge. Sit deep into the front leg. Find that buoyancy in the right thigh and lift up. And then take a big inhale, stay here. And then exhale, straighten, fold over the front leg. Good, again, inhale, look forwards. Bend into your front knee. You can even lift your chest up. The more you lift your chest perpendicular to the mat and pull it forward, the deeper the stretch in your thigh. And then as you exhale, fold. Roll the flesh of your right thigh forwards and the flesh of the left thigh back. Again, inhale, bends, reach forwards, active in the back heel. And then straighten, fold over the legs. This time, stay. Again, if it doesn't feel comfortable in your front leg, you can bend your left knee or you can take your hands to bricks. Otherwise, if you feel more flexible, then you might want to walk your hands further away. Good. And then make sure that you're never locking your knees. So the quadricep, the fronts of your thighs, these large muscles at the front of the thighs, are always active and they're hugging the femur bone, so this long bone within. And it's like, as it hugs it and lifts up, the knee will stay nice and safe. Bend your front knee, take your left hand inside of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot to the left side of your mat, drop your right knee. Stay on your hands or come to your forearms. So again, if you're on your forearms, make sure the forearms aren't actually restricting you. Make sure you can slide the chest forwards, press down into the back toenails, keep the back knee down, but feel a lift of the shin. Then allow that left thigh to roll out. Make sure that the toe and the ankle rolls in the same way, so that the foot isn't flat and the knee out. So if the knee rolls out, the foot flexes. Press up into your hands, press into your left foot, step your right foot outside of your right hand, squat pose. Ground down, bring the thumbs to the sternum, soften through the jaw, squeeze the elbows into your thighs and then lengthen through the back of the body. Take a few breaths here and just almost use this as a reset. So just ground down into the feet, lengthen through the backs of your Achilles heels, soften through your mouth, maybe close your eyes. Just kind of take your mind's eye to the space between the eyebrows and allow yourself just a few breaths just to kind of recenter. And then from here, lift yourself up halfway, open the feet a little bit wider, heels still in, toes out, goddess pose. Bring the thumbs to the heart center, and then from here, feel as though you are pressing your knees back. Soften through your toes, lengthen. As you inhale, extend the arms high. And then as you exhale, squeeze your elbows in towards the sides of your waist, resist. All the way down, palms back. Again, 3 more. Each time you exhale, really resist the elbows like they're touching your intercostal muscles and like you're moving through honey again. Try to stay low in the hips. Try to maintain this square pelvis and then feel that the bowl of your pelvis, if you visualize it as a bowl, is slightly tipping forwards. That's going to help you exaggerate this extension through your lower spine. Make this the last one. Then as you exhale, release the hands down, release the legs, straighten them. Heel toe the feet together. Take your peace fingers, index and middle finger around your big toes. Inhale, look forwards, extend, pull away from the sit bones, and then exhale, fold. Bend the elbows firmly out away from one another. Reach the crown of the head down, and then ground down through your feet. Try to lengthen the vertebrae of your spine and feel the trajectory of your kind of sit bones reaching straight up. Just allow yourself a few breaths here, let everything flush down towards the elbows, the wrists, the feet, the head. Before just releasing and stepping back to downward facing dog. So that was stage 2 of 3 stages of this split tutorial. You're welcome to repeat 1 and 2 as many times as feels good until you feel really comfortable within your practice, within your body, these poses. Otherwise, if you feel ready to move on to the 3rd and final stage to actually finally come into your full splits, then you're welcome to come in.